right, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Big 12. This should be a good one between these two. Kansas State 2-point home favorites, 58 the total. First thing you've got to keep in mind going into this game is who the hell is going to play quarterback for Kansas State, because I sadly and frustratingly saw my great-looking Kansas State bet, which looked so good early in that game. Adrian Martinez, my new favorite quarterback in college football, playing well early in that game. He gets injured. Will Howard has to come in later in that game. And believe it or not, there was a period of that game where actually he got hurt as well. And they had to go to the third quarterback.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and that's when things started to get, fall apart a little bit for Kansas State. So you've got, obviously, Adrian Martinez. We've got to see if he's going to be able to play in this game on Saturday. And if not, is Will Howard going to be good to go? Because he was in and out of that game last week against TCU as well. And I'll tell you what, if it's down to this third quarterback that played last week, I won't be on Kansas State. He was awful. He was terrible. He chucked the ball into coverage, when Kansas State was still somewhat in that football game. Very frustrating, because it just felt like if they don't suffer any quarterback injuries at all, they were going to beat TCU last week. Not just cover the number. They were going to beat TCU, but tough to see it go that way for Chris Kleiman's team, because they were playing a hell of a football game last week against TCU before the quarterback injuries occurred. So that's the question. Hard to have an early week opinion when you don't know if it's going to be Adrian Martinez, Will Howard, or Jake Rubley at the quarterback spot here for Kansas State in this game. Oklahoma State on the flip side, the fact that Kansas State's taken money, people seem to think that they'll probably at least have Will Howard available, if not Martinez, because it was Pick'em and now it's -2 with Kansas State here at home. But you got Oklahoma State off a nice home win against Texas, 41-34. Here it is again, Connor. Here we go again. Mike Gundy is a dog. How many times do we have to talk about that? Baylor, they were a dog. They won outright. TCU, they were a dog. They didn't win, but they lost by 3 in overtime, and they covered that point spread as a dog. And, of course, they won outright last week against Texas. That's just what they do. They're a terrific team in an underdog role under this coach, and they're a dog here again this week. So this is going to be one of those games where early in the week I don't have a strong feel for the side, especially not knowing who's going to play quarterback for Kansas State. But anytime I see Oklahoma State as an underdog, Connor Mack, I'll tell you this right now, I'm not in a rush to fade them. That's for damn sure with how good they've been in this role. And Spencer Sanders and the offense has been good. And even the defense, which started out the season playing poorly, were they great last week? No, but they made up plays. They forced turnovers. They got stops when they needed it. They played situational defense. When they needed a defensive stand, they got it. Yeah, they gave up yards. Yeah, they gave up points, and they've done that most games. But situational defense for Oklahoma State, it's been there. You get those 1-2 key stops when you need them. They were able to do that last week. Good job by Oklahoma State. What do you think here, Connor, with Oak State, Kansas State?
Yeah, the quarterback, he just has everything on pause, too, because I can't really talk about the total either. I mean, if the third string's in, it could be an under. Yeah, that game was just us. That's betting, though, sometimes, and the quarterback, it hurts, with a game like that where I thought they'd go on and win. 0 points in that second half. Just one touchdown. They covered 3 in the hook there, Ian. For sure. So, yeah, that was tough. Oklahoma State, I thought they were a lot better in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, where they were bad against TCU. They took care of business against Texas. So I'm going to have to wait. But you're right. If this is already creeping, depending on, Howard did okay if he's in. It's just a total wait. But, yeah, you already start giving points with Gundy as a dog. Just take it.